We've known for some time that the people of Flint were abandoned by those who should have helped protect them from horrible contamination of their water, but we're only now learning, thanks to an investigation by The Guardian, how much city officials knew about what was in the water literally months and months before people living in Flint actually found out about it. So let's run through a timeline right here. Flint began struggling with foul-tasting, discolored water after switching to the Flint River as its supply for water in April of 2014. Test results soon showed elevated levels of carcinogens. But there's this company, Veolia, which was brought on by the city to do tests of the water and to figure out what was actually going on. And email exchanges in February of 2015, the next year, between executives at that corporation and a city contractor show some senior employees were aware that lead from the city's pipes could be leaching into drinking water. They argued that city officials should be told to change Flint's water supply to protect residents. Sort of. But you'll remember, of course, in the history of this, that that's not what happened. So let's take a look at what we know. One email from the Vice President of Development, Rob Nichols, in February 9th, 2015 says, "Do not pass this on. The city, however, needs to be aware of this problem with lead and operate the system to minimize this as much as possible and consider the impact in future plans. We had already identified that as something to be reviewed." So you look at that and you think, okay, wow, it's scary that they knew about the lead, but it also implies that they want to make the city aware of it so that they can change the water supply and protect people. The response to that email was, yep, lead seems to be a problem, which is a bit casual, but whatever. It seems to be agreeing that it is an issue. Here's the thing though. Days later, Bill Fahey, the technology vice president, emailed senior executives calling for the company to advise Flint to change its water supply, adding that the politics of this should not get in the way of making the best recommendation. Reiterating the call in another email, he added, "Please, this will come back and bite us." Veolia said it nonetheless warned city officials about the possibility of lead contamination and that the city resisted discussions of changing its water supply. Veolia said it warned then Mayor Dane Walling about how the corrosive water could cause lead to leach from the pipes and raise corrosion in a final public report to the city on the 18th of March. That's 1 month after those emails we saw. But that report did not disclose the possibility for lead contamination, focusing instead on how corrosion could be causing water discoloration. So there's internal emails saying we've got to let people know about this. Even this could come back to bite us. They say they in fact did tell the city, but the report that they say proves they did that proves nothing of the sort. Now, in a 20-page response to questions from The Guardian, Veolia, this is now, Veolia argued that city and state officials caused crisis and that they're now trying to create a corporate villain where one does not exist, okay? But bear in mind some of what they were sharing back when this should have been revealed to the public. Veolia's interim water quality report presented on 18 February, so about a week after those emails, said, "Safe equals compliance with state and federal standards and required testing. Latest tests show water is in compliance with drinking water standards." An MLive article on the presentation was headlined, "Despite quality problems, your water is safe." And so look, they knew, some in the company were saying we have to tell people, and now looking back on that time, they're saying we did everything right, we warned people, but all of the documented evidence shows that they did nothing of the sort.
Well, it's obvious first they knew what was happening, and they started on the right track of, hey, we gotta do something about this. And the fact that you even have to bring up, there's a lot of hints in there, the way that this politics was brought forward. The fact you have to bring up and say, hey, you guys, let's get past the politics and actually do something. Why is it that doing the political approach is doing nothing? The political approach is saying, oh my God, there's gonna be a crisis on our hands, but let's not do anything. And then this one particular advisor comes in and says, hey, you know what? Let's maybe not do the political thing and actually help out the people that elected us or that we're overseeing and looking out for their lives. That's the political approach, is to do nothing. And you have to go outside of the political approach to actually do your job. So why is that the case?
Well, that individual that you referenced, it was coming at it from sort of a weird position where he thought that the people and the kids of Flint drinking lead contaminated water was a bad thing.
Crazy.
Weirdo. And that of course happened and negatively impacted the health of any number of different people. Some of them, because they were young when they were drinking that water, they will suffer the effects of that for the rest of their life. That's locked in now. I will add one other fact, probably not connected to anything, just something to bear in mind. On the 19th of February, so a little bit later after those emails, Veolia's communications vice president, Scott Edwards, said in an email that work already underway in Flint could lead to a $15 million to $30 million annual contract. But that probably didn't matter. That didn't influence anything.
I mean, that's their
you
job.
Can make millions of dollars.
That's when it's their job.
Yeah,
to make sure that gets made.
I don't. This is literally the first time that I've heard about this corporation's investigation. There, I don't know anything about their history. They seem to have known, and they certainly should have warned people because half a year went by before people were warned about the lead. Let alone the fact that years and years would go by before they ever had access to clean water. Of course, as a matter of regular access to water. But it's the city officials too. It was a horrible business focused decision to make to switch over the water in the first place. So look, it's a combination, as it almost always is, of the government screwing over its people, corporations working with the government to screw over those people, and it's all in the end to make money.
It's a corporate controlled government, and it's highlighted every time. And until you understand that, and not trust them based off of those things, and not go after saying, oh man, the government's out to get us. The government's out to help certain people, the ones that they consider worthwhile to help. And that's why there's a problem with this uprising of people that want to stop the way the government is usually coming after them. And it's getting bitter now.
Yeah, and the government knew too. I mean, I don't remember exactly which documentary it was in, but maybe you remember. But you remember the fact that was revealed that the city had access to the water from this source that was clearly corrosive. It was going to corrode the pipes and all that. But was it the GM plant had access to water from a different source because they didn't want to use that water because it was corroding the engines that they were washing with it, but they were okay giving it to people?
Yep.
I mean, this is like, take the last 50 years, this is one of the most egregious derelictions of duties, both by corporate executives in pursuit of profit, but also the government, who didn't care at all about the obvious negative health impacts that this would have on people, so they could save a pittance, a little bit of money.
It's the same way. If you ask any of these rich folks, sometimes politicians, to live in certain areas that maybe have contaminated, bad air quality, water, they won't live there. Like, are you kidding me? I'm not moving my family in there. That's dangerous.
Exactly. Thank you for watching this clip from the Damage Report. For more content from the show and access to TYT Network members-only exclusives, go to tyt.com/Brooke. Wait, no, it's tyt.com/John. Go to tyt.com/John to sign up.